Hey everybody, this is Andrew Lee with Health Mutual Network and your admin over at the California Insurance Agents Group. And I wanted to make this video today about Covered California and how we can enroll clients into it and all of the steps that it takes to do so. So I know a lot of people have been asking me about this. I'm going to make this video actually pretty brief. I'm not going to go too much into, the psychology of the sales of how Covered California is to be sold or how to prospect or whatever it is. I'm just strictly just going to go over just sort of what it is and how to enroll somebody. So Covered California obviously is the state-based exchange where people can get subsidized health insurance through Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. Covered California is just its own exchange. So we have our own exchange, our state-based exchange to enroll clients, whereas other states sometimes will have something called the marketplace, which is FFM, and other state-based exchange for their respective states. So in California, if you get somebody under 65, who are the people that need this kind of coverage? It's going to be people that are self-employed, right? They're not offered employer coverage because they're their own employer. Self-employed, be it 1099, be it S corp, be it LLC, whatever it is, they're going to be good clients. They're going to be good candidates to be clients. Number two, you'd also want to reach out to people who have COBRA. COBRA is, of course, a severance-ish package for people that got kicked off of their work coverage, but they're still paying the full amount that the carrier is charging the actual company. So because it's not subsidized by the company anymore because they don't work there anymore, it's a severance package. Covered California could be a better fit because their income goes down because of their job situation, and the lower the income, the better the subsidies with Covered California. So if you see somebody on Cobra, it's sort of a no-brainer to push them towards Covered California because it's going to be better for them. Also, they have a bevy of products to choose from on Covered California, right? There's a lot of carriers out there, whereas Cobra is just the one, right? So why not have, a lot of carriers to choose from and a lot of types of plans like a silver, a bronze, a gold, what have you, instead of having an expensive Cobra plan, right? What's the point of doing that? So those are the two people that you need to target. And also, of course, if people have work, but they're just not offered employer coverage, then of course you'd want to also enroll them too. So let me get into how the actual Covered California page looks. So I'm gonna quickly share my screen here. So what I normally do is I'll go to coverca.com, even if I'm logging in, because if you're trying to log in and you have this saved as a bookmark, it doesn't work as fast sometimes. And right now is 5:23. So again, it's pretty slow right now because this is when everybody's getting off of work and all that good stuff, and everybody's in um the actual Cover California website all at once. So it could be a little bit slower depending on the time, but um, we want to first go to shop and compare. So let's say if somebody's like, hey Andrew, okay, so I'm looking for coverage, can you help me out? Right? You have a client. Then what you would say is, okay, yeah, of course I can help out with that, right? Yes, I can definitely help out with that, with everything that you say. If they're like, hey Andrew, can you help me? Yes, I can definitely help out with that. What you're going to ask are the following. So it's going to be, okay, are you looking for yourself or for a family? And if they say myself, they say, okay, great. Do you claim any children on your taxes, or are you married, filing jointly? And if they say no, but I do claim one child, then let's go with that, right, for this scenario. So let's say single dad. And I'll be like, okay, so yeah, I can definitely help out with that, right? Just always say that. That's just something that I always say, and then it gets people in a good mood. And you always want this to be a good mood kind of conversation because one, you're helping them out with their health insurance, but two, just like don't make it boring and make sure their energy levels are high and they're engaged so that they're gonna when you ask questions, they're more inclined to answer them correctly and more inclined to trust your expertise and be involved with what you do. So let's say the zip code is this, and then you'll ask, okay, so it's you and your child. Are both of you guys applying, or you said it's just for yourself, right? Just to make sure. And then it's like, yeah, just for myself. It's like, how old are you? I'm 36. And how old is your child? Just for the application's sake, because they are going to ask the child's age. Then and then he's like, okay, child's 9. So automatically by default, it'll say needs coverage. All you have to do is take that off. And then you ask them, hey, so again, this is based off of your annual income. So what do you think your projected income for this year is going to be? And then you can ballpark that, obviously, because of the job changes and all that good stuff. Because if they just got off of Cobra, obviously a job change. So they're like, well, I'm making 0 this year. I'm like, well, you know, it's going to be what you've made year to date, because you're going to get a lot of clients saying that. It's what you've made year to date and what you think you're going to make for the rest of the year. So I understand that, they're asking you to predict the future, but you could just ballpark this, and we could always change this later on if you have a better idea of what your income is going to be. Just a ballpark. What do you think your income is going to be? Because you'll stay on this question for a very, very long time if you're just going back and forth on like income, and them like, let me look at my taxes, and let me call you back because I have to look at it. Like, no, just ballpark it, change it later if need be. Just because, again, you can't predict the future. You might win the lottery in November, let's say, right? Or later on in the year, and all of a sudden your income goes up, right? So anything can happen. So just to the best of their knowledge, right? That's what attestation forms are for. That's what, to the best of their knowledge, what do you think they're going to be ballparked at? He's like, all right, I think I'm going to be at around 50,000 for the year. And then you're going to go ahead and see my results, preview plans, right? And then you're going to ask, okay, do you take medication regularly, or do you go to the doctor's often? And they're going to say, no, I don't really take medication. I'll take like a generic like blood pressure medicine. I'm like, okay, great. What's the name of the medication? They're like, oh, lisinopril. I'm like, okay, gotcha. So do you have a specific doctor that you had to stay with? And they're like, no, I mean, I'm pretty free. Or actually, no, there is one doctor. I did like Dr. Jones is the one doctor I used to go to when I did have coverage. So I'm like, oh, Brianna Jones? They're like, yeah, okay, cool. Dr. Brianna Jones. Let's look up what she takes. And now we're going into the actual plans, right? So now we can see the whole spread, right? Based off of, well, it's going to be based off of income, or sorry, the premium itself. So it's going to be ordered in the premium starting from the lowest to highest generally. Now, he wants Brianna Jones in a network. For some reason, let's say his budget is around $135, and Dr. Brianna Jones is not in network, but you feel like this is going to be a good plan for them because it's just, he just wants bang for buck. He doesn't really go to the doctors too much. He has to be forced to go to the doctor. That's why he hasn't gone to Dr. Brianna yet, whatever the case is, then you can say, hey, okay, there's a policy here for, or what I would say is like, okay, then LA Care would be a good fit. And so for this plan, you get the free preventative checkups, which is like the wellness checkups. Every major medical plan pretty much has free preventatives. And then $65 thereafter, 3 times with this plan. And yeah, this one's going to be at $135, right? And they're being like, okay, so yeah, that sounds good. And then boom, that's an enrollment right there, right? If for any reason they're like, hey, is there anything better than that, then I'll be like, okay, cool, let's go with the silver plan. Dr. Jones isn't network. They're like, okay, let's find something with Dr. Jones in it too. Then I would be like, okay, she does take a Blue Shield plan because Dr. Jones is in network. And so this one's going to be a little different. This one has a $45 doctor visit. The out-of-pocket maximum is going to be $87.50 from if I can remember this. Let's see. Boom. Okay, $87.50. I was right. So just let them know what the out-of-pocket maximum is. But during this time, what I would normally do is, this is where after you say the out-of-pocket maximum, then you can present some options to bundle. If you want to bundle cancer policy or a dental vision policy, what I would normally do is say, hey, the out-of-pocket maximum is pretty high with this plan, I would recommend getting like a $10,000 benefit for hospitalization, just God forbid in the case something were to happen, because right now you're at $50,000 for the year, you're not working, that's 1/5 of your income for the year. So I just don't want to put you in a situation where you're going to have to shell out all that money, especially if you're not working. So this hospitalization supplement or cancer plan, God forbid if that happens, is going to kick in and help out with this amount. So that's an opportunity to bundle, and we can get into that in another video. But yeah, this is a plan with both of them in network. And of course you ask, hey, did you want dental, vision, and hearing? And if they say yes, then of course you add that on as well too. So a lot of opportunities to make money with this, but that's generally how you quote. And then of course after that you log into your Cover California dashboard, and then you start getting to work on the application. So again, just in a nutshell, this is how you quote Cover California. If you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. But besides that, you guys have a good, it's the weekend for me now, but you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks.